The Freedom Rides were launched to spotlight the injustice of Jim Crow segregation in the Deep South.
James Farmer put out a call across America to solicit Freedom Riders. And I didn't know any better, and I volunteered. And we went to D.C. for a week of training.
The training consisted of role-playing. Whites spoke and acted with the vicious hatred the Freedom Riders were taught to expect on their journey.
I'm ordering all you niggers to get to the back and stay there, and we'll get through nice and peaceful.
It was very necessary to have whites to call you a nigger and not mean it, and to knock you on the floor and spit on you and pour coffee and Coca-Cola, and just to get you ready for it. The main thing was to cover your head to keep a person from injuring your brain.
You hear what that man said? You hear what that man said? You get back there, get back there.
During the nonviolent training we had in D.C. a week before, we were trained to tell the press the truth, but always notify the press of every movement, but always tell them the truth, because without them, we couldn't make it.
They're buying tickets from town to town and getting off in each town and seeking through mixed groups, Negro men and white women, to force themselves into situations which tend to inflame the local people and incense them.
Thought we might die, and that's why we wrote our wills the night before and mailed them to our family members.
The riders left Washington, D.C. on May 4th, planning to ride through to New Orleans, arriving on May 17th, the anniversary of the Supreme Court ruling desegregating public schools.
I got off the bus to preach Mother's Day sermon back at my church. After my church, I called Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth in Birmingham. He said, well, Elton, that's what they called me then. He said, they just burned the bus.
A gang of segregationists had chased the Greyhound bus onto the highway, forced it off the road, then firebombed the bus, leaving it in flames as the passengers scrambled to escape. John Seigenthaler, Special Assistant to Attorney General Robert Kennedy, was sent to Alabama to rescue the Freedom Riders.
The Freedom Rides at that point were blocked. They were over. They had been ended as a result of the violence at Anniston.
The violence of Mother's Day, May 14, 1961, exploded across front pages. But it did not end the movement, and one journalist, Moses Newson, was on that bus.
I think that was a clear case where young people got themselves together and said, we are not going to be stopped by violence or whatever else they may do.
Moses Newson, reporting the terror outside Anniston, Alabama, is the next story of the Freedom Rides.